On this episode of Supervision Simplified, we are so excited to welcome our good friend, Lisa Duez. She's the owner of Turning Point Counseling. She is the inspiration and founder of Clinician Connection Conference in Virginia Beach. She's going to be walking the Camino in Europe in 4 days. And we're so excited to be having her joining us today, talking about all the things that she's doing, inspiring us and inspiring clinicians across the country with her amazing and exciting future plans. She's also going to be sharing with us a little tease about her upcoming book around the EASE framework of leadership. So stay tuned for some exciting information from Lisa Duez, and we're so excited for you to join us. Hello and welcome to Supervision Simplified. We're so excited to be back here in Virginia Beach for our last live interview at the Clinician Connection Conference. I'm Dr. Amy Parks.
I'm Valerie Harris.
And we're so excited to have Lisa Duez with us today. She is the innovator and hostess with the mostest for the Clinician Connection Conference. Thanks for being with us, Lisa.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me and thanks for coming to the conference.
Oh my gosh. We were so happy to be here. We really have enjoyed it. We were really excited to do kind of a little bit of a breakdown yesterday. We talked to some other people that had been here, so we really enjoyed it. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, I live in Hampton Roads, Virginia, Virginia Beach. I own a group practice called Turning Point Counseling and Consulting. I've owned that practice for about 7 years. I used to be a solo practitioner. I'm very much a group practice owner person. I very much love my job. I very much love my staff. Done some supervision, doing some supervision now. I've been a supervisor for licensed people and then a supervisor just in agencies. I love to talk about leadership. I love to do hiking. I love the beach. I've got some kids. It's just fun. Life is good.
That's fantastic. And speaking of hiking, you're getting ready to do the Camino in what, like 2 weeks?
No, on Wednesday.
On Wednesday? 4 days?
Wow.
Oh my God. Tell us how many miles it is.
Go home. Oh gosh, I might come back in a wheelchair.
That'd be fun. How many miles is the Camino?
So it's 100, probably 100 miles. I don't know how many kilometers, but it's about 100 miles.
100 miles.
I may die.
And then we're going to do the coastal Camino in 2025.
Yes, we are.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hopefully.
No, maybe.
Okay, maybe. Okay, I want to do it. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm going to get FOMO. You know, as a fellow Thera-Queen, because we didn't say.
Oh, we didn't say
Thera-Queen. She is one of our Thera-Queens also. Like, I don't want to be left out. So
Coastal Camino 2025.
I just need a plan on how to like get ready for that because I don't.
So the Camino is like.
Yes, so let's explain for our audience what the
maybe
Camino
they will do too.
This is a little side note that this is a little movement based.
I don't even know what the Camino is, y'all. Laugh at me all day because I don't even know what that is.
Explain what the Camino is for those who don't know.
Okay, so
I'm well aware.
Okay, so the Camino actually starts in the French Pyrenees and it goes all the way to the coast of Portugal. There are a lot of different routes. I am doing the Spanish route from Sierra, I'm sure I said that wrong, to Santiago de Compostela. There's a big church in Santiago. It's kind of a pilgrimage of sorts. It's a walk. It's not really a hike. It's a walk.
So it's like an appellation of
it's not. There's no like weird hiking trails and
no, but I mean like just sort of like the idea or the popularity around
like the AT,
the excitement.
Okay. So you probably have to walk like about 5 miles comfortably in about an hour and a half, and then you would stop for lunch, and then you walk another 5 miles. So it's not this. It's only 5 miles.
I mean, it is if it's flat. Like I mean, you can get to that.
There's some. It depends on. Obviously, coastal Camino is going to be flat.
Mm-hmm.
There's about a 2,000 elevation gain where I'm going, but and then obviously the French Pyrenees, there's a lot of elevation gain there, but it's not as hard as it seems, at least in my mind right now. Maybe I might say something later since I come back, but I don't know. But it's kind of, you stop, you stay at different places along the way. You stop for lunch. It's just this leisurely pilgrimage. It's a little bit of a spiritual trek. I'm just excited.
I think it's
actually I'm sold for now. I do like it because I love the coastal idea.
Right.
In the past, when I was walking a lot more. I could do on a like very flat, just flat, could do 4 miles in 45 minutes.
Oh, that's a bad.
Right. You know what I mean? So I can see doing the 5.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I've never tried to do the additional 5 in the same day, but I would do 4 every single day for months. So I know you can work up to it.
Yeah, you can.
Right.
You can.
Well, Lisa's been training for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Coastal Camino in 2025, regular Camino starting Wednesday.
Woo.
So that's really exciting. And you said that you, of course, you have a group practice.
Mhm.
You have some supervisees that are getting ready to finish up their supervision. One that's getting ready to take, in Virginia, they're required to take the NCMCHE.
Yeah.
So she's getting ready to take the exam.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Ours
That's
takes that
exciting.
in Tennessee
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. So we know how much of a bear that is. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little different when I think when you're done supervision,
Mhm.
because I always tell them this.
although wait, let me clarify. Is that person a social worker or a professional, a counselor?
social work.
Okay, so the social work exam is different. It's not the
Mhm.
NCMCHE
Uh-huh.
for social workers.
Yeah.
It's a social work exam. So it's
Yeah.
a whole different deal. It's not the same as the licensed professional counselors have to take a different type of exam. So just for our listeners to clarify, the social work national social work exam is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Is there's an all-inclusive one
Yes.
exam that
Yeah,
includes
one
the
exam
treatment,
for
like the theory and diagnosis?
Yes. The
Yeah.
ASWB.
Yeah,
exam.
ASWB exam.
Yep. So it's kind of this space between I'm finished my supervision and I'm waiting to take the test. And I always tell my supervisees that supervision is for teaching you how to be a therapist,
Mhm.
not teaching you to pass the test.
That's right.
So teaching you to pass the test is obviously not the onus of the supervisee, but also I haven't really focused on that with them. So we're meeting, they're reviewing and different things like that. And so as we are doing the process of doing supervision, we've okay, bipolar disorder, let's go over the different types of bipolar disorder because this client has bipolar disorder. So it's kind of woven into supervision, but now it's watching them prepare
Right.
and just continuing to meet with them. And we're talking about cases, but they are now focused on test taking.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
helping them with different strategies, and there's so many cool. I am so amazed. I took my license exam so long ago, it seems, but they have so many different tools now for them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So many
You were-
different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's some great apps.
I'm like, what?
There's some
Yeah.
great apps. There are 2 or 3 really strong books.
Right.
And then there's some really great Facebook groups. And those Facebook groups, I encourage every student to be in
Oh,
one
wow.
of the
Okay,
Facebook
I'll tell
groups. Yeah, because they have there are at least 4 or 5 different Facebook groups. And each of those groups have files and files of
Mhm.
study guides. And what a lot of very generous students do, or residents do, is once they pass the exams, they upload their study guides to the
Yes.
file.
Oh, nice.
And so
Okay.
they share sort of what they have accumulated over
Mhm.
time. The clinical supervision directory is putting together an LPC version of the NCE and the NCMCHE study
Okay.
guides, but we'd love to put together one also for social work
Yeah.
residents because that would be an equally valuable
Oh, yeah.
resource.
Definitely.
Or
Um,
even LMFTs.
And
because theirs is
LMFTs
very
is down.
different as
Theirs
well.
is different as well. Exactly. So
Yeah.
those are 2 goals of ours to put together. But so I would definitely encourage them to get on the Facebook groups too, because and if nothing else, it's like a solidarity, like an affinity group of people who are all going through the same
Yeah. You can go in
experience.
there and be like, I passed. And
Yeah.
everybody just gives them kudos.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we
Groups
celebrate.
too. And so I sort of I'm in those groups as like everybody's hype girl, so I really try to cheer people on too and
Yeah.
say like, way to go, like you can do it. Because a lot of times they don't pass the first time and it's okay. Like there are plenty of
I didn't pass the
times.
first time.
No, I mean, I luckily somehow did. I don't know how I did miraculously, but there are people who don't pass the first time, and it's totally okay. And it's really in a lot of ways there's just a test, and it doesn't mean that you're not an amazing clinician. It's just
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a question because you are social work.
Uh-huh.
It's my bachelor's in social work, and but a lot of I have an LPC, of course, and I see a lot of LPC students. But I still was systematically trained in a lot of ways because
Yeah.
of that bachelor's in social work. And I'm curious if this is just kind of like a Tennessee thing versus just a licensure, just more of the differences in licensure. But do you notice that your students coming to you with counseling versus social work, that they're not necessarily as prepared when it comes to, systems theory? Because I noticed ours missing that a lot. And I'm just curious if it's just because that's just counseling and they don't look at that, or if that's more school specific or region specific. So I just have curiosity about it.
Yeah, I think the difference between social work and counseling, counseling gets definitely more theories and more individual knowledge,
Yeah.
and more family. Social work gets more case management and systems.
And community based.
And
Yeah,
community
and social work looks at like the whole end, like
Yeah.
the outside working in, whereas
Right.
counseling is the individual working out.
Mhm.
And the top down,
Yeah.
a lot of cognition, which doesn't mean that the social work isn't getting it, but you're getting it from the community perspective.
Community
And I think
So
that's
for
what's
social work,
interesting.
it's all this person and environment, person
That's
and
right.
environment.
Right.
We're taught to look at cases. So if you do an assessment, it's, who do you live with?
Yeah.
How's,
Or
what
genograms
church
for
do you go to?
days.
Genogram, echo map, right?
Uh-huh.
All of this stuff. And a
Offenbrenner
counselor,
and the whole
and a counselor probably may just focus on the whole person initially, and then bring the family in eventually. Not, the family, the systems, whatever, but we're taught the whole person and environment, like from jump.
And I can't,
Right.
I can't unlearn that. So I find myself often educating our students on that, because to me it's almost risky. But you tell me, you think, to make a diagnosis or even try to start attaching one when we don't understand the person in their world and how they got there. We don't understand even the bio, like there's so much we're missing. Even that collateral information, like there's so many things that you can learn about an individual, and sometimes we can assign things too quickly and really miss doing that. And if we don't have to put that label and can figure that out, I feel like it's always better. And I love that about social work.
Yeah, we do joint therapy, not joint therapy. My brain is still not online from the
That's okay.
we do joint supervision, and it's interesting to see when we present a case how the social work supervisees versus the residents in counseling will approach the cases.
Yeah.
So we kind of let them do it, like we let the social workers, it's just like, here's the case and what do you do? And then it's just interesting. It's two peas in the same pod. They're neither one are wrong.
That's
But
right.
it's interesting how they, the social workers are immediately talking about, well, where do they live? What are they doing? And the counselors are like, it's just more of a individual face. It's really kind of cool.
I do love
Yeah.
that. They do have two very important spaces, and I like it when they can come together and sharpen each other in that way. Even MFT, because they've got that systems
The
piece,
systems piece,
but a little
too.
more understanding of like relational dances. And it is really cool to the more diverse your team is, to be able to bring in those different perspectives.
And they learn from each other.
Yeah.
Because I think
Mhm.
social work lacks a little bit on the theory stuff, because we bring in all of this macro stuff. And we're
But then counseling misses the environmental piece.
Same.
Right?
And I'm over here like, I don't know. I'm really, as an LPC, don't shame me.
Nah,
Everybody, like, I really will forever value having that BSW. Like I would have that all over again. And I think it even prepared me so much better.
Yeah.
Once I got into getting,
Well, that's why I teach that biopsychosocial theory of wonder, the whole idea of the top down, outside in, ups, bottom up, because I really want everyone, my philosophy is everyone needs to be looking at every case from all three of those perspectives, because I think that that's what encompasses both the social work perspective and the counseling perspective.
Correct.
If you're looking at the whole 360.
That's right.
And if you're not looking at the 360, I don't think that anyone's doing the right thing.
Mhm.
Personally, that's my. So I am a proponent of the whole picture.
Biopsychosocial.
That whole biopsychosocial perspective.
And I see students just get anxious on the LPC side about like getting that right diagnosis or treating that symptom or getting them out of that pain.
Right.
Or what intervention or what modality am I using? I'm like, whoa.
Right.
Just learn your client.
Yes.
Learn your client. Learn who they
Take
are
your time.
in their environment, how they became who they are. Let's just slow down. Let's just do a genogram.
Let them show you.
Like you don't have to move so fast. It's okay.
Yeah, and we can't be in silos. We have to, can't be LPC, social worker.
Right.
We have to be.
Yet we are.
Yeah.
Sadly.
But we can't be.
I know.
No.
And we are very oriented. Valerie and I talk quite often about, and we will continue to talk quite often about breaking down the silos in our profession. Both the silos that are inherent in the professions that we have, LMFTs, social workers, counselors, and the state silos that we've created, that have been created, the system silos, because they are not serving the community.
Right.
No.
And they're created for a reason that, as clinicians don't really make sense anymore.
Right.
And
but the
so
training aspects of the difference is like we need them. It's so
absolutely,
you
there's
know,
nothing
and so
wrong
there's
with
such a
that.
beauty about it. And I think that when people don't understand the history of how these different tracks came to be, I think that's where the risk in like I don't know how it comes to be that way. I know I used to be like pro LPC because I was just in the LPC world.
Yeah.
Until you like start to see it in practice and you start to see those deficits and you understand that, oh, I acquired this not from my LPC, but from my BSW. And you start to realize the strengths in each and the deficits in each. And like you said, like we don't want to ever lose that though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
probably our toilet paper. Yes, let's be authentic. When you interview people, have lots of people in your review around on the toilet.
And you're live, and it's no big deal.
That's right.
So
That's funny.
yeah, so like I think your point is very well taken, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't have those different professions. There's there's room for every different philosophy and different perspective and approach. It's the piece that is so critical to our clients
And the age. Think about that. Social work has been around
much
since
longer.
It's 1800s.
right. And so a lot of those people don't understand that. Had social work was the original trailblazer.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They wouldn't have counseling.
That's
No, they
right.
wouldn't have
And for years there was no LPC in California.
No.
When I was going to school, it was not even accepted in California yet. You know what I mean? So it is the history of social work is the OG and what brought in the rest, which is very cool.
Yeah, I used to be able, so weird, but I think about this often. I used to be able to supervise LPCs for half of their licensure hours.
You
in
can
Virginia.
still in Tennessee.
In Virginia. So they stopped that because there
Right.
wasn't enough LPCs in Virginia, or they didn't have enough supervisors. So they used to allow social workers to do it. So we can't anymore.
Right.
But I always felt, here I have somebody that's trained differently than me, that how can I make sure that I honor their training and the kind of LPC therapist that they want to be without like getting all up in my social work stuff.
Right.
But it's such a gift. Half of my supervision was done by an LPC. The other half was by an LCSW.
To be able to like, hey, let me talk with you about some systems and case management, and because I will throw some resources at somebody, hey, do you know about this? Do you know about this? Do you know about that? That's the other part that we're trained about is community resources.
And that's also the landscape of mental health as a whole.
Yeah.
When social work evolved and came about, like it's very reflective of what was needed in that time. Like there was just community mental health for a very long time. And so without social, like you had to have the case management piece or the hospitalizations and things like that. So even understanding that evolutionary piece, I think would help a lot of people see like the gifting that we still have that in existence. We haven't extinguished it, even though the landscape has changed. We've continued to evolve social work in such a way that we can maintain those pieces, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of community, you have built a clinician community now.
Yes.
That has emanated into this incredible conference, culminated into this incredible conference.
Yeah.
Now we are 12 hours outside of it. And how are you feeling? Can you take a breath yet?
Yes. I crashed last night. I just was like, my brain is just, I need to crash. But I am so full of like joy and just
pride.
Yes. And accomplishment. But just reflecting on it, it was
my cheeks hurt. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I know. We're like, but it was such a, marketing, it's taking like a big step of faith. To have a conference, never, not being, over here in Virginia, me and my partner, we didn't know, Chris Connolly, and we didn't know, I was just like, I just want to have a conference. And usually Chris is the one that says no. And he's like, yeah,
he said yes.
And he said, yeah. So we did it. And we said yes. And we learned along the way. And we both stressed out. We used to text each other, we got a sale. It was so funny. And it's just like everybody that came meant so, and everybody still means so much to us that came and sponsored. And, I would just, Facebook message somebody to speak. And I'm just like honored that this person is speaking everything just came together in a really beautiful way.
Yeah.
It just was
It is
absolutely
cool in that very first
magical,
time.
magical, magical.
There wasn't one thing. I mean, I do a lot of conferences. There
Yeah.
wasn't one thing that wasn't great.
Yeah.
I mean, there really wasn't one
Yeah.
thing that wasn't great.
Yeah.
It was just so great.
Yeah. It was just, I can't, I'm super satisfied. Usually,
I mean, the weather.
yeah. We had great weather on like the main day.
Exactly. Beautiful weather day on Thursday. And like you can't control that, but the setting, the speakers, the ease of movement between, that's usually stressful to me. Like the ease of movement between sessions, that was easy. The schedule was easy. Everything was just so great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Really intentionality just around the eating and I'm always a girl that looks at the intentionality of things. And and the thoughtfulness behind things. And like, I always appreciate those pieces of things because it shows that shows your heart. Like it shows your intention, shows your vision and your mission for it, which I think comes through in all of those little details.
The self-care time.
Yeah, we did the little Acu detox and sound healing in the morning. Which so many of those things will be back next year.
Good.
Yeah, we'll probably be at the same location. Got to come up with dates. The ability to just put it out there for speakers to just be like, hey, here we are. Show us what you got.
Yep.
And we'll come up with the best conference we can.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're thinking of late April, early May. Hopefully, that's the plan.
That's the plan. We just got to get with the hotel and get the dates, and that's the plan.
Yeah.
Next year, same
Fantastic.
place, same location. I'm super happy to share Virginia Beach with everybody. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I saw some people out today doing yoga on.
I did too.
Yeah. Except it's cold, but you never can predict. But
still. We're gonna do something. We thought about having a yoga guy, but we were worried about the cold. But
I'll tell you, we did at Jackie Flynn's neuroscience and play therapy conference. We did sand tray play therapy on the beach in Florida in the winter.
Oh my God.
It was perfectly great and fine and fun. We just all wore coats.
We just need to get Jackie Flynn to be on speaker.
Right. Well,
or maybe we're friends with her. We can arrange that.
Jackie and I can do that together. So,
you know what? That might be a big.
I'm all about planning the fan
idea.
Next year. Jackie, Dora, and I can do that together. Dora Henderson, Jackie, and I can all do that together.
I would love to.
Might be a plan.
Yeah.
Might be a plan.
So, I mean, she's from Florida, so and her conference is always in Florida.
Yeah, and
it's always on the beach.
And the later that we have it in May or June, April, good gracious,
April and May.
The nicer it will be.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and of course you can never predict, but still, it was freezing. It was cold, but it was fine because everyone knew it was cold. Everyone wanted to do it. Everyone wore coats. Yeah. It was perfectly okay.
Well, let's do it.
So yeah, absolutely.
Great.
So that's something that you're going to be working on. And in your abundant free time, maybe while you're walking, you're thinking of this, I guess, because that's
my brain
that's
goes,
like your vision time. Tell us about your leadership plan and the book that you're writing.
Oh gosh, it's coming together.
Or maybe it's just still a vision and it's coming together.
I have a chapter written.
Okay,
chapter written. So
tell us first of all about who it's for.
Mm-hmm. So it's for mental health leaders.
Okay.
So here's the thing with leadership. We all have those stories, right? I have hundreds of stories of people that have come to me that have been through bad stuff, bad leadership. I have been through bad leadership. There's a lot of reasons, and I don't even know if bad leadership is even the word, but there's a lot of reasons why things go wrong in leadership. Mm-hmm. So when I set out to do a group practice, I was like, I'm not going to replicate the things that I have been through and the things that a lot of other people have been through. So how can I work on me first?
Yes.
And then work on bring me and work in progress, build the team, work on me, build the team. So I've actually come up with like a framework and a methodology. It's kind of centered around the word ease, and I'll kind of pull that out as it develops, but it really focuses on us as leaders and how we can have a parallel process and what we can do. And so I've been starting to speak a lot on the A part of it, which is the authenticity, which is actually my favorite part of it. And so I'm doing some speaking on that.
Why was I thinking it was grow? I'm
No,
glad
it's
it's
not.
E.
That's my
That feels better.
supervision thing.
Oh,
Oh.
see, I'm always
That's
everyone's
my acronym.
Everybody has
Right.
acronyms.
I love
Yeah.
acronyms.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
love the word ease. That was one of my year.
That was one of
word the
that's what
year.
happened. That was one of my words of the year.
A couple years ago.
A couple years ago.
Mhm.
Maybe same year. That would be crazy. What's my 2023 word?
I think it was my 2022 word.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
When I was at Joe Muirhead mastermind word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Maybe.
love how our mirror neurons all brought us together in these similar spaces. That's
Yeah.
cool to me.
I love the word ease.
In our
So
parallel
A
process.
stands for accountability.
Authenticity.
Authenticity.
So
Excuse
that's
me,
like my
sorry.
no, you're fine. That's my favorite part of the book is the authenticity part. And how we can actually have permission to not be in a box, and as mental health leaders, we can bring our true self. So if we're goofy, we can be goofy. If we're a quiet leader, we can be quiet. We don't have to like fit the mold and fit, we can do the same type of leadership as we do for ourselves as we would in the therapy room. We can bring the same process. So there's a lot more to it, but what the cool thing about it is I'm going to write it for the leader individually, and then I'm going to also do a point for, organizations and teams. So it's going to be kind of cool. It should be out this year. I need to get my butt writing a little bit more. But yeah. Good.
How do you go about making the time in your really, really busy schedule to do that kind of deep work?
I usually, it takes me a long time, but it usually I block off writing time. So I, with everybody with schedules, I block off focus time, I block off writing time. Usually Friday afternoons is my writing time. And I try to work on, I try to give myself a schedule, like you work on this part each week. And then by the end of the month, you're going to have a chapter. So that's what I do. I think I might, when I come back from my little walk around Spain or whatever, may block off a day. I don't know. I'm not really good. Valerie and I were talking. I'm not really good like alone. Like I can't go up in the woods and write for 3 days. I would die.
There are people that do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I do really good focused work, but it has an expiration limit. So I need that deep alone time to like really dive in. But for me, after about 24, 48 hours with no connection to people, it gets like dark in there. And then I need to like get out of myself and go away. Like I'll limit myself.
If I went to like a new place, I would want to explore the place. I'd be like,
totally.
Yeah. So why would I want to write? So I have to like write. I just write in my office. Which is weird.
But I like to make friends. So, as you know, I like to make friends with strangers everywhere I go too. I mean, whether it's an Uber driver, a homeless person, but I find that stuff inspires me and can inform my work. So I could go somewhere and write. As you said, I would need to get out and explore and connect to the people. Also, I just like to connect to the area to really take in the culture. But those things generally, because, and I know you'll relate to this as an ENFP, you see the patterns of things, and you see the patterns. Yeah, it's the plane to tell us good morning. Yeah, you see the patterns, and the parallel process is so easy. Yeah, that it's almost like you can't not keep engaging those things to kind of out of curiosity to see what's out there.
Yeah, that's what happens. But generally, I'm like, if I just stay focused, if I'm in a familiar territory, I do a little bit better because I did try to go like up to Richmond and write, and it didn't work.
Which is so interesting. I wonder what makes me odd, because I could totally do that. I feel like I could go somewhere, but maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I feel like I could really do deep work somewhere.
I've seen a lot of people do it that way. I really think that it's for me, it's changing that environment is signaling to my system that I'm in another place for a specific reason. So when you go away for a conference, you're there for specific reason. And it kind of like dulls the noise a little bit for me. So I think for some, that's what it is.
And then you have the space when you're away to do the thing.
Whereas others, I think, are really accustomed, and this might be for you, very accustomed to their space. And that is that comfort space for them, that writing space, and it's almost a sacred place for them, and they need to reconnect to the same one. So I don't think either is odd or weird. I think it's just sort of one or the other, and I bet most writers would land somewhere.
The other thing weird about me is I like to write on a desktop. So, people will pull their laptop.
I want to write by hand.
Writing by hand.
a lot of times, or mind map. I'm very visual, and
I do that.
And I retain it more when I do it that way, and I need to almost work it out and then put it to paper.
Yeah, I have a notebook that goes on the desktop. I do the whole, you know, how people do the whole sticky note thing where they do that, they outline the chapter.
That's what I
do that.
But I don't even have a desktop, so I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
But
I can't write on. I'm a lefty. I can't do a laptop. It's weird. I don't know.
So that's really hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, I'm a lefty. It's weird. So I have 2 desktops. I just write on my desktop.
And you can't do. Wow. I don't know. I just didn't argue that much more than I already did, because I'm like, what a thing. Like, I mean, you can't do it. Like, why can't you do it? Is it just not friendly for you?
No,
Like,
something happens. I need a mouse. I have to have a mouse. But I do have a laptop and I have to have a mouse.
Well, okay, that makes sense. A lot of people have mouses or keyboards. So that
But if I don't bring my mouse, which half the time I forget it, then I'm just like, frick this, I can't write.
Yeah.
So you have the book that you're going to be working on Friday afternoons. You have the conference that you're planning for next year.
You're walking 500 miles.
You're walking 1,000,000 miles.
I'm walking 1,000,000 miles
across all over the world.
100 miles across Europe.
I'm gonna start in Turkey and walk to like Ireland or something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Shut you, Jesus.
I'm not doing that.
I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do this. Any chance to go back to Spain or Portugal, it is phenomenal.
Okay, so we're definitely
I will do that.
We're
absolutely.
Right. So we would really actually like Dawn to do the, help
Dawn,
us. Yeah.
We'll talk to her about that.
Yeah.
Does she listen to this podcast?
We've mentioned her twice, so now she has to.
Well, she will support because she joins my reality
we mentioned her
TV
in our
thing.
last
Didn't even
episode.
watch that, and she's like, "I'm just doing this to support." So yeah, she'll listen.
Dawn is so good. She has planned such a cool. I just need to shout out.
I can't pronounce her last name.
She can't either. She can't always spell it sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Dawn herself.
Yeah, sometimes.
Dawn B.
Dawn B.
I think it's
she has just.
I
can't. She has planned like the coolest thing, and I'm telling you what, with the backpacking retreats and the things that she does, she knows her stuff.
That's what I want her to plan. Coastal Camino.
Yeah, she'll do it,
and
I think she will, and we can all do. And while we're walking, we could plan our leadership.
Yeah,
because that would give us a lot of plan time.
Yep.
Walking and talking and thinking might be too much for us.
No, like I think when we have stop points,
we
would say, okay, for this next leg or whatever,
think about this.
We're gonna set the intention and see what comes to us, and then when we reconvene, check in and see what we've come up with.
Yeah, but sometimes you just like to take in the scenery, man.
I know.
Well, sure, but if you're looking for hours, like you're not spending time.
Yeah,
I miss fun though. I have to tell you, let's just take a minute to say I miss having fun. Just fun.
I know.
That is not work related.
Oh, yeah, I'm a creative, so that is fun for me. Like I love.
I'm not saying it's not fun. That is fun, but I also miss. I really just also like when we were talking about the Greece cruise the other day, and you guys were like, "And we're gonna do this leadership thing, then this leadership thing." I'm like, I just want to go on a cruise to Greece and have fun. So sometimes I just want to not work.
Right.
How do you enjoy your free time?
What do I do? I hike a lot. I go on vacation a lot. So my husband and I will go camping. And camping is like the best thing. We have an RV.
Yes.
So you go, it's kind of cool because you have your own little town with people that you don't know, and everybody goes out and builds fires, and
that's our
So we do that. We recently went down to South Carolina. We go up to Virginia a lot, or just up into the mountains, and that's like fun because it's like you can't help but decompress. There's no Wi-Fi in campgrounds.
Right.
Very little. It's very spotty. You're not on social media. Your brain just goes, do that a lot. I just like to be outside.
We lived in a camper for 2 months when our house was being built and our kids were a little younger or in their mid-teen, 20 years. It was one of the best summers ever.
Yeah.
We learned very quickly how much you don't need. And it is part of that retirement plan for my husband and I. I want to get back to that. And my parents have a camper, and they've always done that. I hated it growing up, so it's a real funny thing now. I'm like, do they not have a phone? What about my pager if it goes off?
That's what my kids. I have this,
but I love it now. I miss it.
I have this picture of my son, one of my kids. I don't even know. He's in a hammock. He has his hands above his head, and he's trying to look at his phone, and he's in a hammock. It's the funniest picture. I have to like find it.
That's amazing.
I'm not sure which kid it was.
That sounds
Yeah.
like so much
It's
fun.
like teenager camping.
But it is good because you get to see different places all the time. And
Yeah.
it's a whole little
But now,
community.
as they're older, they're like they miss it. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I bet they really do. I
Yeah.
think that would be so much fun. I would really love to do that. I would actually really like to have a camper.
Yeah.
I don't know if my husband would be into that, but I would be into that.
well, we have a
I'm
camper.
not sure.
As long
If
as
you're
my
the pole
husband-
behind.
yeah, as long as he drives it and parks it, we can use it.
Oh,
Because I'm not driving the thing.
maybe he could like drive it and land it somewhere, and then we could.
My
hang out.
dad has a he went from like a big RV, like the big ones, the ones that artists use, like that level size,
Right.
like a Bluebird, down to like a smaller one. But now he has a van.
Oh,
It is the coolest thing because it looks just like a camper on the inside.
That's like the thing to do is live in a van,
Yeah,
that's what my daughter wants to do. She thinks that would be
it's
great.
so nice.
I don't want to live in a van. I will definitely love to camp, and I would like camping, but I don't want to live in a van.
Yeah, I don't
I
really live
follow
in
this
one.
person on Instagram or TikTok or something, and she stops at like One Life and she showers and she does all her things, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. She's doing it for like 6 months, and then she's doing whatever. But she's in her
Oh,
20s,
that's
she
a
lives
little
in a
long.
van sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was in my
It's
20s.
just interesting. It's
Right,
interesting.
Oh yeah,
It's interesting to me.
I think that's great. Like,
Yeah.
you get to get out and see the world in an affordable way.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what she works remotely. She lives in a van. She's kind of driving across the United States, and it's kind of cool.
That is
Actually,
very cool.
That's
you
fun.
know,
Well,
I
Lisa,
couldn't
you
do it, but it's cool.
You have so many fun things coming up. You have
Yeah.
so many exciting plans and so many goals. We're really excited for you. We are, of course, your queens, and you are
Yes,
hyper.
I
Totally.
know. Yeah,
We're
as
so
I am
proud of
yours.
you, and we're really excited for all the things. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
Yeah,
We really appreciate it. How can people find you? We didn't actually say this at the beginning, but we tried to. We didn't think about doing this, but people can find Turning Point Counseling in Virginia Beach,
right.
online.
Turningpointva.com.
turningpointva.com. Got it. So they can find your services there.
Right.
And,
And
then,
they just recently won an award.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
that's right. Best therapy practice of the year. Or
Coastal, yeah, best
Coastal-
therapy practice in coastal Virginia.
Unbelievable.
What an honor.
Yeah,
is
that
incredible.
was our first year. We have been nominated and we won.
That's
So
incredible.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, not crazy. Amazing.
But amazing and
totally well worth it.
listen, I know everybody has the best staff. I truly have the best staff.
I bet you.
They
do.
were so cool at this conference. They were
That's
right.
so supportive.
Oh yeah.
They're
showed up.
just awesome. They showed
really
up.
Showed up.
Yeah.
That was great. That was
Yeah.
really fantastic. And if people are interested in the Clinician Connection Conference, I know you have a group on Facebook.
There's a group on Facebook. And then it's clinicianconnection.net. And that's it. And
And the minute you actually put it in Google, it comes right up.
Yep, I know.
Yeah.
We have good
Yeah,
good SEO.
yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't know
Yeah.
how that happened.
I don't either, but it
because
does.
we didn't try it. I Googled it all the time.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Yep.
That's right. Exactly. Well, thank you everyone for tuning into this episode of Supervision Simplified with our friend Lisa Duez. And remember, the revolution starts here. We hope you'll subscribe to Supervision Simplified and that you will share it with your friends and share your stories with us and feedback, and keep sharing your content and your comments with us and your stories. Until the next time, keep on simplifying and elevating your supervision game. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.